It was at this moment that he knew.
But did you die?
The No Fake channel, checking in. Jonathan here, bringing you the Bells of Steel cable tower. It's obviously a functional trainer, and you can use it for a lat pull down and low row. But is the juice worth the squeeze? Is everything too good to be true? You know we do honest reviews on this channel, and I will say that there is one glaring oversight that so many content creators just happen to overlook. But I am obviously not only going to mention it so that you go into any purchase with your eyes wide open. You know, as a YouTuber, I'm going to be putting it at the end of today's video. In today's day and age, there are tons of options when it comes to getting a cable tower, a functional trainer, a lat pull down and low row, and everything else in between. So why even bother considering the Bells of Steel cable tower? 3 words: price and savings. The plate-loaded iteration of this comes in at only $350 delivered to your door. Now, it does come with plastic pulleys, and obviously, if you've got beer pockets, you can't have champagne taste. But I will say that the plastic pulleys usually do their job quite well, and I gotta give a credit where credit is due. Bells of Steel has the option to simply upgrade and buy the aluminum pulley kit for an additional $130.
Forget about it.
Now, if you want to have just a little bit more premium feel, you can certainly go with the selectorized version that does come with the aluminum pulleys. I will tell you that comes with a 210-pound weight stack in not only a 1-to-1 ratio, but also a 2-to-1 ratio. Now, the first thing I got to tell you, and I think you already know, $1,200 is never something I would say is budget, but compared to much, and I do mean much of the competition, that is a fantastic price for a selectorized cable tower.
Just living the dream.
Most of us are sick and tired of home gym content creators with seemingly football fields worth of space to store equipment, and they've got no realization about space savings when it comes to a home gym. The reality is most of us are working out in glorified closets where every inch matters, and that, my friends, is where this Bells of Steel cable tower shines. Both the selectorized and the plate-loaded version takes up a floor space of only 28 inches by 28 inches. Incredibly small, meaning it's going to fit in any space you have, and you can put it almost like right up against the wall and still get your training in. Also, it comes in at 81 inches tall, meaning this can fit not only in your garage or your basement, it's going to fit in your shed, in your closet, in that spare bedroom, and you're not going to have any issues doing tricep pushdowns, wood chops, lat raises, face pulls. It's going to have enough height that if you're not 6'7", you're going to be able to do every type of exercise you possibly can dream of with this thing. When the cable tower arrives, it does come with these strange looking handles. The reality is they are functional trainer handles, allowing you to simply clip these in at designated lengths to get different types of exercises in. So you can do pullovers, you can do flies, you can do rows, you can do pull downs, anything under the sun. Don't let the looks deceive you. These do actually work. But keep in mind, with any cable system that you buy for your home gym, you are going to want to go out and just simply get additional attachments in order to add versatility into your training. Now, the Bells of Steel cable tower also comes with this nifty attachment, allowing you to connect both sides, giving you that 1-to-1 relationship on that 210-pound stack. From my personal experience clanging and banging away on this Bells of Steel cable tower and, quite frankly, just trying to break it, I will say that the action on here is smooth. I will say the aluminum pulleys are an absolute standout and a differentiator compared to a lot of the other stuff on the market that comes with those plastic pulleys. Also, the pop pin and the action to move this thing up and down, super easy, super smooth, super demure. Let's talk about that 210-pound selectorized weight stack and put it into a bit of perspective. Now, I have a 300-pound lat pull down and low row machine, and I have not once pinned that thing out. Reality is, when I do super ultra heavy low rows for singles or even maybe reps of 220 pounds is my limit. And when it comes to lat pull downs, same thing, 200 pounds is where I am topping out. So 210 pounds for most of us is an extremely high amount. Now let's say you've been eating your Wheaties, taking your vitamins, and saying your prayers. You want to go ultra heavy. That 210 pound stack just can't cut it. You could throw in a gym pin and then tack on some additional weight, but do keep in mind the spec on their website does say that the cable has only a tolerance for up to 250 pounds. I need to thank all of you for using my affiliate links. When you use those links, it helps me keep this ice bath cold in the winter time. As usual, let me know when you use those links so that I can send you a small token of my appreciation. Most of us want a functional trainer in our home gym to give it that local gym feel. There's all these great, amazing exercises that we want to be able to do, and unfortunately, beggars can't be choosers. And if you've got beer pockets but champagne taste, the Bells of Steel cable tower may just be a great substitute. This thing can do all of the exercises that you could do with a functional trainer, but at literally half the price. The only caveat is there's gonna be a couple of exercises, mainly a cable fly, that you're going to have to just simply either not do at all or do in a modified way. You can use these handles in order to do cable flies. The problem is these pulleys are super close together, so that when you come over, you're going to have these straps rubbing up against your arms. Now, many of us, that wouldn't bother us. Your arms are like steel. You're not going to feel it anyway. The real problem comes when you come wide with this thing, right? Because you're pulling from the middle, you're going to find that the cable actually goes over to the right, and it's going to create just a little bit more friction than you normally would get with the typical operation, meaning it's just not going to feel quite right. Now, if you made it this far in the video, guess what? You have noticed that I have a back upright. This doesn't come with the basic version, both on the selectorized and the plate loaded. It is a $90 upcharge, but there is a caveat. The reason that many of us get this back upright is simply thinking we won't have to bolt this to the floor or bolt it to the wall. That by getting this back upright, it's going to be stable enough to operate as it should. And we would be 100% wrong. This back upright is solely for storage. And that brings us to the major issue with this Bells of Steel cable tower that's not necessarily a deal breaker, but something we absolutely need to talk about. And before we do, we gotta talk about Bells of Steel as a company. Not only have they been in business for 16 years, they've got solid customer service, but they do a lot for the home gym community at large. And I will say they are one of the very few home gym manufacturers that not only say they want an honest review, but actually mean they want an honest review. Now, I've watched countless reviews on this piece of equipment, both from Bells of Steel as well as other content creators, and never has anyone really highlighted what I'm about to tell you as an issue. And that is, the website says you need to bolt this to the floor. That's right, whether you're doing a selectorized or a plate-loaded version, if you want to use it, you got to bolt it to the floor. And oh, by the way, they don't even include the bolts. Now, why is that an issue? Well, most people are never going to want to bolt something to the floor. Maybe they're renting and they want to get their deductible back. Maybe they own a home and they don't want to bolt something to their basement only to have water come up through the holes. And there are people like me that aren't really even men and don't know how to bolt something to the floor correctly.
Got it!
While it's easy to put on paper and in the instructions that you must bolt this to the floor, but oh, by the way, we didn't include any bolts, I think it's a massive hassle that so many people just aren't gonna do. And if you're like me and you quite frankly bought the back upright thinking, hey, I don't need to bolt it to the floor anymore, you would be absolutely wrong. I was doing a lat pull down on this thing with only half the stack.
But did you die?
I didn't die, but I absolutely did crap my pants. I've heard content creators say that you would never dream of doing a lat pull down from a cable tower. And all I gotta say is, bitch, please. In 2020, I had a fishing anchor connected to my basement stairs in order to do lat pull downs with bands. So if you got a cable tower in your home gym, I guarantee you expect to be able to do a lat pull down, even if it is from the floor. For those of you thinking I'm making a a huge deal about the fact that Bells of Steel says you must bolt this to the ground, but whoops, we didn't include the bolt. I will tell you that I have yet to see any content creator with this equipment reviewed that actually bolted it to the ground themselves. No, Even Bells of Steel themselves, in their own video, don't have it bolted to the ground. Now you can buy 2 of these and set these up as a functional trainer and even connect them to create a squat stand. I will tell you that that's not really feasible economically. The reason that this thing is a beautiful piece of equipment as it stands singularly is that it does everything a functional trainer can do except cable flies at half the price. When you buy 2 of these, you're getting into the realm of just buying a functional trainer. And ultimately, if you buy 2 of these and set them up like a squat stand, you're still gonna have to bolt them to the floor. Now, I firmly believe, although I haven't tested it yet myself, that you could avoid bolting this to the floor if you bolt it to the wall at the top and the bottom position. Now, many of you think by now that I am dead set against this Bells of Steel cable tower, and you'd be dead wrong. This is a fantastic piece of equipment for those of you that want that functional trainer experience, but you don't have that functional trainer budget and you don't have the functional trainer space. This thing, both the selectorized and the plate-loaded version, is extremely economical compared to the competition. You can shove this thing in the smallest of gyms and it will still operate. And you can do every exercise a functional trainer can do except one. Keep in mind, if you're gonna go with the back upright, you absolutely are only getting that for storage. And you at the very least need to have a plan on how you're gonna bolt this to your wall at the top and the bottom. At the end of the day, love Bells of Steel. I think this is gonna be a great versatile piece of equipment for so many of you that are either tight on budget, tight on space, or you miss the functional trainer at your local gym. Life's full of disappointments, but not if you watch these 2 videos next. As usual, thanks for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back.
Job's done.